So I guess we could call this the inaugural inaugural episode of the SARA podcast.
Number one.
The recap of week number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it was a pretty wild week. Last couple of weeks have been pretty wild considering the new build, but I feel like this week was a little smoother than last week. Last week was kind of just like full on, just fucking turn right in the middle of turns if you want. If you don't want to, no big deal. But
Yeah. Yeah, last week was crazy because which one? It was Street Stocks. The Sportsman division was like the day of the build, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, all the cars are so loose now. None of my sets work." And it's like, "All right, boys, here we go. 75 laps, green, green, green."
yeah, when the practice session went up, that was the first time I had done any kind of testing with the new build because I had gotten out of work and then I went and did some shit after work and then et cetera, et cetera. And I used to practice a lot. I used to put in like last season I would do like fucking 3 hours on Sunday, come home from work on or do some time on Monday and then Tuesdays get out of work and then just working on my own setups. No idea what the hell I'm even doing. Dial this all the way up. Oh wow, that's worse. Turn it way down and that's a little bit better. But since I kind of established a pretty solid setup for each track, I don't really do it as much anymore. And of course, Mark Arthur used to help me out a lot. He and I used to host some practice sessions, and him and Greg would join up, and we would work on setups together. But I haven't seen Greg doesn't do it much anymore. Session's a little bit too late for him now.
He's 18. He's in high school, and the session's over at 12:30. We probably finished.
Yeah.
So the street stocks were probably over a quarter after midnight. What the hell, man? What kind of kid doesn't want to be up at midnight?
I don't know, man. He's a good old boy. I don't know.
Those Virginians, man.
I'll have to ask him. I got him on my buddy list on iRacing. I'll have to shoot him a message and tell him to come back and whoop everybody's ass one night just out of honor.
Right. Just to completely screw up the standings.
Yeah, right. Have him and Mark come back. Mark hasn't been around. He just said Mark. I was talking to him a little bit today. He said he hasn't even done anything. I don't think he's even raced yet on the new build because he asked me. He's like, how are my setups working on the new build? And I was like, well, man, they're fucking. It's like you're driving on ice in the stocks.
Yeah. But that's everybody says. I don't think anybody's been able to solve the riddle on the new build yet. I mean, and it's across the board. It's even on the road side. I think the road guys are complaining just as much as the oval drivers are. But it's good to know that Mark's not avoiding us because he and I get into it every once in a while on Facebook about the Second Amendment and all that nonsense. So, it's good to know he didn't just take his ball and go home.
No, I don't think he did. I mean, he's just like I haven't even seen him online in iRacing, and he even asked me today how's my shit working basically, and it was like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's best if you don't. I said at first I was like, I don't know, man. Maybe I'll just let you race it and figure out how it feels on your own.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it for you. Spoil the surprise. What else happened last week? It was last week the truck race at Concord?
No, I think that was this week.
No, this week was we just talked about that.
That's right, yeah.
5 minutes ago.
What's going on with Chris Roberts, man? That guy, first of all, he's running everything.
He's on fire.
Yeah, dude. He's nothing. I don't think he's finished outside the top 3 yet in any division this year.
Until tonight.
So yeah, I just uploaded the stats, and Roberts with no poles, no wins, just 5 top 5 finishes. He's got Jared Boyros by 1 point in the season championship, and Jared's got 2 wins.
For what? The late model?
For the late mods.
He was. I see how. Tonight must have been a drop week or something. Where did Jared finish?
Jared was. Jared finished in second.
See that point system last night. Derek, I was looking at the points. Derek was leading Jared by 1 point in the late models, I think. Or no, maybe it was 10. Maybe it was 10.
Are you talking about the Outlaws or the Limiteds?
It was the Outlaws. I was thinking of the Street Stocks is what he's trailing by 1 point, and he's trailing me by 1 point in the Street Stocks. I was thinking that I was confused in that it's not. Yeah, no, it makes sense, I guess.
I mean, it makes sense in so much as that's where we're at, but I mean, it's kind of frustrating for me as a promoter to have a guy that's not winning. He's knocking off top fives every week, but like I've got two guys with 2 wins, and one guy has 2 wins and 2 polls, and he's not first. That's weird after 5 races. That makes me think that my point system might be broken.
Yeah, that point. I don't know how they've got all that set up, but that point system is pretty weird. I remember, I mean, last season I only won one race, but I had like I think half my races were in the top three or top five. Like I had three top threes and like almost all top fives. And I don't know, the scoring was pretty weird. I mean, Mike
Yeah.
ended up beating me by like 2 points or something like that. I don't know. Do all the leagues use that Dan Lisa thing?
Um, all the decent ones. I mean, I don't. You can set up a custom point system, and this is my points. It's not my point system. I took the point schedule from Dirt Car. It's their point system, but I mean, you can set up any kind of points chase you want. It's just that that's the one that I found, and on paper it makes sense. It's 75 points for first, and then it tracks back by 5 points down through fifth, and then it goes by 2 points through 10th or something. I mean, it's when you look at it on paper, it makes sense as a points schedule. And then I throw in a couple bonuses and some penalties here and there that shouldn't break it, but like you're right. I mean, last year is tough because there weren't Mike was the only guy that raced every round, and there were only like 5 or 6 people that scored 8 races. So last year was kind of tough to really judge by. This season we've got a bunch of guys that are going to score 8 races in a couple different divisions. So this will kind of give me a better idea of how the point system really works. And right now I'm not. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Chris because he's on fire. He's just he's always up front for everything. It's just when you look at it, it's like you should have a win after 5 races if you're on top. You know.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's I think it factors in like the I think the whole thing where I mean, do you get any bonus points for winning the race?
No, you just get the first place points.
And then it's 5 points for every position after that, right? It's like so I think first place is like 75 points and then second is like 70 and then 65, 60, 65 like the whole way down.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it goes. Let me go back and I'll tell you exactly what it is.
So theoretically, you could finish first and get 75 points, and then the guy behind you could finish second place twice and get 70 points both times. He's got
Yeah.
140.
Well, the point system it's based off of Dirt Car, and the way they have it set up is the top 6 guys, the points are spread out by 5 points. So first is 75, second is 70, then 65, 60, 55, 50. Then from seventh place down to 11th, you're getting 2 points. So you go from 50 to 48 for seventh, 46, 44, 42, 40. And then from 12th back, you're getting 1 point. You're getting 1 point spread, so it's 39, 38, etc. And then the way I have it set up is like last week when we had to bump guys because we had 29 guys take qualifying laps. Anybody that made a qualifying run but didn't make the show got 15 points. So the way this point system is set up on paper looks like you should be rewarded for running up front consistently, because you're getting more points. You're getting more of a spread on the guys that are finishing behind you. But on the other hand, Chris hasn't won a race yet, and he's in first. And he took 4 penalty points tonight for contact. Jared finished ahead of him, got 3 bonus points for the pole and lead a lap, and Chris still has him by a point. So not to take anything away from Chris because he does exactly what this point system rewards. He runs up front week in week out, but after 5 races, if you have 2 wins with a handful of bonus points, it doesn't make sense for Jared to not be in first place. So that's something that I'm going to I'm going to start scouting some different point systems and see what we can do going into season 3.
Yeah, I haven't even seen any other scoring systems. Of course, I've never been in any other leagues, but I guess that doesn't really matter. But I have no idea what's out there, so I guess that'll be your project.
Well, I mean, it's I don't really look at, I try not to look at SARA as a sim league. I don't promote it like a sim admin. Like I try to look at it more like a short track promoter would. I'm trying to I try
Right.
to think of what would make sense if you guys were running real steel and try to bring a more realistic format to the series. So I'm looking at Durkar. I'm trying to find out what Pass does. Maybe what.
If you want to keep it real, you're gonna have to find a way to implement some sort of fist fight system and some sort of peel out in the parking lot system and tell the promoter to go fuck himself at the end of the night and then come back
Listen,
next weekend like it never happened.
I used to work in MMA, so if guys are fighting, I'm trying to make money off of it. I tell all my friends, don't fight for free. Let's get in the ring. Let's make some money together.
It was like a never mind. I was gonna forget it.
I'll look forward to hearing that story on Facebook one night.
Well,
Whatever it was gonna be, I'm sure it was gonna be fun.
no, it was just I mean, it's totally irrelevant to uh anything outside of the league. It was just well, fuck it. That night, one night, with the whole Kathy Kraft thing.
You had to bring her back up.
Well, yeah, I mean, honorable mention for the podcast, right?
She's already emailing in a protest right now.
she's broken into my computer, and she's already lifting these MP3s as they're being written down to my storage drives here. She's already lifted them. No, it was. I remember it was. I don't. That might not have been the situation where Mike used the term, Mike Belanger, number 85, where one night we were in, it was some kind of session, and we were talking about, having to fight a lady or something like that, and he said equal rights, equal fights, and it made me laugh, and I used that today at work, and it was pretty funny. And that was pretty much it. See, what a shitty story.
Well, a buddy of mine plays hockey. He down in Baltimore, and a mutual friend of ours told me that he found video of my friend losing a fight on the ice to a girl. So I sent him a text message. I say, hey, what's going on? And we start bullshitting. And I just out of nowhere, I go, you lost a fight to a girl. Everything you say from now on is irrelevant. He goes, come on, man. Her underwear has dick holes in them.
How did he find that out though?
Well, I don't know. He worked pretty quick, I guess. But when the person you're squaring off with on the ice has a ponytail, you know no matter what happens, you lost.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those.
Lost.
What else happened this week? I think Layla had a pretty good finish. What was it, Tuesday?
Well, she finished 4th tonight.
Did she?
Yeah. Yep.
And she finished. I want to say she finished 3rd, or she had 5th last night in the trucks. And I want to say that
2nd in the limited late odds.
That's what it was. And then Ken was running 3rd for a while. Ken Belanger, he was running 3rd for a while on Tuesday. That was pretty cool. I was looking through the relative box, and I was like, whoa, Ken's running. Ken's up here. That was cool. And I felt bad. I saw it. I think him and I got together coming out of one of the turns. I don't know if I came up into him or he came down into me, or if it's just one of those things. But I think we got into each other. And then I looked in the mirror and he was sideways, and I was like, oh man, that sucks.
It sucks. Ken's. I respect the shit out of him, man. Him and Mike both. But Ken's been there from the beginning. Him, Mike, and Sean Medling are 3 of the 5 guys that started the first league race we ran. Ken comes he's 1, 2, 3. He's running 5 divisions. He's running 4 divisions this season. He comes every race. He just turns laps. He's never he's never in too much trouble. And you just have to respect a guy like that. He doesn't make a lot of noise. Just a pro on the track. Just
it's fun. Him and Mike, when you hear them when they're talking during a race, it's like they have like the same kind of voice. Only
Yeah,
you can just tell that Ken's like a little bit older. But it's
yeah.
funny, like my dad and I don't think we sound anything alike. But then you hear those two, and it's like that same booming, uh, deep, deep Massachusetts voice. You know those people from
Well,
Mass, they got that voice.
yeah. If you want to know what Mike's going to sound like in 30 years, talk to Ken.
Right.
Anyway, Mike logged his 30th start this. Well, him and Ken both logged their 30th SARA
Wow.
start tonight.
What else has there really been? What else does Ken race? I don't, because I mean I've been racing pretty much everything this season. Has there really been that many? Oh yeah, well the late models and the street stocks.
Yeah.
So there's only 10 street stock races last season. Did it count that opening week there at Sobo, or was it linear that you had like that very first one, like that points didn't even count last season?
No, that was nobody. Nobody that's in the league ran that South Boston preseason race.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought Ken and Mike both ran that.
No. Their first race was that. It's funny. It was a linear. October 16th was the first race, and it was at linear because all I did was I took the 5 free short tracks, alphabetical: Lanier, Oxford, Sobo, Thompson, and USA, and just did them right back through.
It's
So,
funny.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
wild. Go ahead.
I changed the order a little bit for this season just because, whatever. But that's what we did.
It's wild to think about how many people actually started like that first week, and then there was that first week there was only 5, and then that second week, I think there was maybe 10. That's when I first started. Was that second week of last season? That was my first one, and there wasn't that many people. But I mean, it was. I went into that expecting to get my ass handed to me, and I think I did. I mean, I got third on that one, and then I think the weekend after that. Huh?
Got the fastest lap, 17.2.
Who did?
You did.
Huh. Well, how about that? But then I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like,
John Hickson's first start too. I'm surprised Brian Wellman didn't stick around. He had a good run last season. I haven't seen him once this year.
yeah, him and Brian Gavin. Has he? I've only seen Brian around. Was he around Tuesday?
Yeah, Brian's still. Yeah, he's running the white car with the black and white checkerboard around the bottom.
Yeah, I know what his car looks like. I just don't remember. I mean, I barely remember seeing anybody anyway. 'Cause I never, there's like only like a handful of names. What's that?
Always running out front.
No, it's not even, dude. No, like the last 2 weeks, I've been nowhere near the front, except for.
Brian is sticking strictly to the to the sportsman division. He's got one outlaw late mod start at Thompson, but looks like he's sticking to the street stocks.
In that race at Thompson sucked, that opener. I remember Mike and we got together very, very early on in the race. Fucking 5th or 7th lap or some shit like that. That sucked. And then the week after that, I missed the start because of the game because iRacing screwed me over.
Yeah.
The late model. How am I doing late models right now? I'd be surprised if I'm in the top 10 for points right now for late models. It's been that bad. Like,
you're 16th. You are 200 points out of first.
Still got a chance. There's daylight.
But you're only behind Scott Kelly by 1 point.
Scott Kelly, if you're listening, in the wall next Thursday. Opening lap. I'm gonna try to. I'll adjust my set to qualify just on the inside of you, and then that'll be it. Race over for Scott Kelly.
Gotta look out for Clay. You're only up 8 points on Clay Snyder.
Oh, Wonder Boy.
How about him, man? He's
right.
He started 2 races last season in the Sportsman, and then
did he in the stocks?
Yeah, he finished it out with us at Sobo and Thompson. I guess he missed the season finale, but he jumped right on board with season 2. Man, he's on fire. He's doing real well. I mean, it sucks because
he had a pole. He started on pole.
Yeah, he had a pole and then got tied up in a real goofy wreck that put him on his lid. And that was the first, the last 3 weeks, in one race, no matter where one race the last 3 weeks, he's ended up on his top, which it's just like Jesus Christ. Here we go. There's a 38 car on its wrong side up.
You're right. You ought to put some sponsors on the bottom of that car.
Yeah,
Put some contingency layers on there or something.
put a Fig Newton sticker on the bottom of it.
It would be funny if iRacing would let you put a sticker like on the muffler or like oil pan or something like that. So if you ever did, roll it over, you could take a funny replay shot of your car upside down or something like that.
Put this side down on the bottom.
Yeah, right. So Paul and I have been talking about doing sort of spring fling event after maybe during the next week 13. Speaking of which, there's a sweet blog that one of the iRacing guys just put out, the Diary of a Cat Herder. I forget what number it was, but there was some pretty interesting stuff that they're planning for the next, hopefully planning for the next build. If you follow iRacing on Twitter, they'll have posted it very recently, or it's one of the most recent blogs when you go over to iRacing, but definitely worth a read because it has some pretty cool information in it, what they're working on for stuff that's coming up. Like they're redoing the interface for when you join a race and stuff like that. But if you just go over to the iRacing main site, I don't see where the blog is. It must not get a ton of traffic.
If you go in the press room.
Oh, right here. If you go to iRacing and you click on news, and then you go over to blog, in the day in the life of a cat herder XVII, there's some information about what they're planning on for the new build, and it looked pretty cool. So worth a read there. But anyway, Paul and I were talking about stuff that we could do, just one-off events that we could do this week 13, and we were thinking,
Is this champion your blindfold race again?
I think it's a good idea, and I don't know why you're not on board with it.
I just don't know if we have enough people to get it together. I mean,
we will.
How many people do you think would start that race?
I think you would have to run 5 sessions at 40 cars apiece.
Right. All right.
No, like I'm gonna search the forums later to look for like blindfold race to see if it's been done yet, or see if anybody tried it and like nobody showed up. But I think with the turnout that we usually have, if we did it on during week 13, something like that, like the weekend before or weekend after, that it could be pretty fun. But what else were you thinking tentatively for that week 13 spring fling kind of thing?
Honestly, I really want to do a powder puff race. I was trying to get one together for
So what if like Layla wanted to run that race? What would happen there?
Oh, she's a girl. She can run the powder puff.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. But usually it's like the significant other. Usually it's like just like the wives and the girlfriends and stuff. Well, so I think if she has a significant other, it should be the other that runs that race.
No, we'll let her race. Plus, I have a feeling she would log her first win in that race. But the funny thing is, Mike Bellinger was talking to me. He was asking me if I was trying to get it together because I think his grandmother wants to race it. I think I could be wrong. She's a turn 1 hero, but
she taught Ray Alfala everything he knows.
She builds Alfala sets.
Probably does.
But no, he said that I can't remember whether it was his mom or his grandmother, but he said that one of his parental or grandparental female figures wanted to run the powder puff. So I really just for that alone, I want to get it together. And I know you were saying that your girlfriend wants to run it. My girlfriend would run it if I could ever scrape together the extra cash to get myself a new wheel. I think that would be interesting, even if we hadn't run under our profile names, but just to watch our girlfriend's race.
Yeah.
My girlfriend would probably beat me because I haven't logged any laps since last season. But
I remember looking at your race, your career stats there. You have a win though, don't you?
Yeah, it was like a 3 a.m. It was like a 3 a.m. fixed street stock start against 5 guys, and I started out the pits. I'm like, somebody just dive bombed the other 4 cars in the race, and I was just like, all right, I guess I'll run up front.
And then now here you are. So after you went out on a high note, you won your one rookie race, and you're like, I'm done. Now I'm gonna be the promoter.
Gotta retire on top, exactly.
You gotta go out number 1. You can't be dethroned.
Absolutely, man.
I think it took me something like 18 starts to finally get the first win in the no, it wasn't that many. I was like, I don't remember. I have to look.
Well, you got to run those late night races. I mean, I don't even know if it was an official race, but it was.
No, it was. If it counted it was. If it gave you the win, it was official. Like I remember one night, it was like 3 or 4 in the morning, and it was this like I even want to say it was like a street stock C class race, and it was just me and this other dude from like New Zealand, and like I started on the pole, and of course he was outside pole, and then we pretty much just chatted the whole race, and he ended up like 3 laps down or something like that, and it didn't count it because it has to be like I don't know, 6 or 7 more. I read it. It's somewhere in one of the PDFs buried inside the member site where see when a race goes official. But there was a few like that where just like a couple guys showed up, and it was like, what's up, guys? Let's do this fucking race in reverse or something. Then
just do something goofy.
But then, well, you also have the SR to worry about because it does take that into effect. So it's good chance to build that up. But
no, I really would like to do a powder puff, especially with Mike saying that one of his whoever was his mom or his grandmother. I really can't remember who, but especially if they're going to be in a mix, I really want to do that. And then Derek said something that he was in a mixed class race on Daytona or Talladega, one of the super speedways, and it was trucks and legends, and I guess it was kind of like a trailer hook race where the truck basically pushed the legends car around the track.
That's so backwoods.
I know, right? That's some shit you only see in like Mississippi.
Right, that's like those YouTube. That's like no, not even YouTube. That's like those videos you see like 3 a.m. when you're watching like Real TV or something like that, or like Spike TV. Yeah. And it's like 3 a.m. Those guys doing those like nose wheelies on hot rod or motorcycles and stuff like that. That's the kind of shit you see. Like the trucks and legends at a super speedway. Famous last words during those videos. No, I hope Mike's earlier when you said one of his grandparentals, that it sounds like a Lincoln or something like that, like the Lincoln 2013 Grand Parental. And,
I test drove one of them.
Did you? How to drive?
Awful.
Well,
like a Lincoln.
It sucks that I'd have to travel all the way down there to get into a fist fight with his grandmother because that's what's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. She's gonna put you in the wall, and you're just gonna have to go down there and whoop her ass.
I gotta fill up the gas tank. I mean, this is a few hours drive from me to Mike, so
yes.
I'll stop off, get Krispy Kreme donuts, and then kick Mike's grandmother's ass.
Just beat the piss out of her for putting you in the wall in a sim race. Meanwhile, I really am disappointed you and Mikey didn't come down to Atlantic City last weekend for that indoor race.
Yeah, because I can just drop what I'm doing and go to Atlantic City,
I can.
It's right next door.
Whatever. Well, what is it, 6-hour drive for you?
I don't even know. Probably a day and a half or so.
Oh, come on.
I go the long way up through Canada over by Alaska and then come down. I take the ferry.
You drive through Kamloops and then hang a left at Moose Jaw.
Right. Well, the tolls are cheaper, so I go that way.
You plug it into your GPS for cheapest route, avoid tolls, and it takes you through like fucking Winnipeg.
2-day drive. Constantly driving.
But that indoor race was a lot of fun. I know they do one up there in Providence closer to you guys.
That's not closer to me at all. I don't know what.
It's closer than Atlantic City.
You have such a skewed sense of geography.
Listen, honestly, anything north of Center City, Philadelphia is New England. New England and doesn't matter.
Well, tomorrow I have to drive into New York City, and then I have to drive like a half an hour into Boston and then back home. So I should only be going like an hour and a half or so anyway. So
Right? Sounds about right. That sounds legitimate.
it's a pretty short drive. I try to do it twice a day if I can.
There's not enough money in the world to get me to drive into New York City.
I wouldn't even drive. I wouldn't even fly over it.
There could be a steamer case full of $1,000 bills that only I could pick up with my truck, and it would just fucking stay there in Lower Manhattan.
Do you drive a truck?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, pickup.
What kind? I bet it sucks.
It's a 2007 Dakota.
Oh, it
Costs
sucks.
me $100 a week in gas. Can't wait to get rid of it.
It costs you $100 a week in gas and you don't even drive it.
Right? You just
It just sits there.
it knocks on my door. Give you $100.
Otherwise, it's gonna trash your place.
Oh, it's just terrible. Because I have like a 45-minute ride to work. Like it's like an hour and a half round trip for me to get to work every day, and it just
How long? Hour and a half round trip?
yeah, it's like a 45-minute ride each way. I mean, the bonus is I work second shift, so I don't have to deal with traffic, but it's just fucking forever to get to work.
I mean, you could get a job in northern New England and you could get to work quicker than that. I mean,
Right, that's what I'm saying.
based on how you view the layout of the United States.
I will grab you by the ears and shake you until gold coins fall out of your face.
Yeah, you have to find some to put in there first. So I think that's it for shit that happened. Notable shit.
Did we talk about anything that actually happened?
No, we did. I'm thinking. The truck race was cool last night. That's a.
You guys ran 50 without a yellow, which is always good.
I know. Well, if you look at the very last lap, I think like turn 3 and 4, Leela got together with what's the guy? I don't remember the guy's name now.
Lemberg, I'm guessing. Kevin Lemberg.
No. It was Steven Denmark. There you go.
Oh, okay.
They got together and she put him into the wall. But and then it probably would have brought out a caution. I'm surprised it didn't actually, because it was the guy's probably dead now. But there was that. That was a fun race. What happened? What happened Tuesday? Tuesday was open stocks. I don't even remember what happened.
We canceled that. That was a race.
Oh right.
Because of the weather. We actually went unofficial with that one. First half of the race, everything everybody was blinking in and out. I guess we connected. I think there's a Boston server. I think it's Boston, Virginia, and then Australia. I think are the three main server farms that they use.
And we got one on the fucking moon.
Yeah, no, I think we got one up there in Boston, and I guess all 9 of you guys up there had high winds, and I think that's what was affecting. And we have a lot of guys from New England that run the series, so I think everybody was just getting weather beat, and about halfway through, everybody who was one or more laps down had an extra lap down tacked on. It was just a gong show. So at about lap 50, I said, we're gonna pull the plug on this one and put it at the end. So we're actually gonna make that one up in what would be week 11. So we're gonna run USA for double points as the season finale now for the Sportsman division, which I wouldn't plan it that way because it would be too much of a hey, I'm a promoter doing promoter type things. But if the series stays close like it is, it'll make for some interesting storylines going into the race.
Mm. No, I remember that. It was I was in the race and entire field disappeared, and then entire field came back, and then Mike got on the radio and he's like, "Hey, is anybody else still in here?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm here."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Well, this is gonna be interesting." And then it just booted me out, and I tried to come back, and it wouldn't let me leave the pits. It said I had damage to repair, and then I would sit in the pits, and it didn't do anything. I was like, all right, well, this is a waste of time.
Yeah. And I mean, it's we had a similar situation last season. Actually, I think it was the season finale last year where we had people
Oh
were having
yeah.
connection issues, and the people, and that was a different situation because we were up against the holidays, and this year Christmas and New Year's were both on a Tuesday, leagues on a Tuesday, and I know Mike can only Mike can only make it a couple days during the week because he works off shift, and it was one of those things where the guys that still had a chance in the championship weren't being affected. So, I just kept the green flag out for it. But this time it was just everybody was having problems. So just said the hell with it. We'll try it again later on.
Yeah, that was definitely the right way to go. I mean, it gives me another week as a points leader. So
Holding
gives
off
me
Chris Roberts. And here's the thing: you don't have any wins. Chris has a win, and you're beating him by a point.
that's right.
It's just
It's respect. It's fear and it's respect.
respect.
No, Chris is I remember when did Chris join last season?
Um, I think he's one of those DWRL guys that came in about the same time Layla did.
Really?
Well, no, his first race was Thompson 2 at the end of last season.
Seems like it was way sooner than that. Like I don't know. I remember when Chris joined up last season. He joined up. I think it was Sobo. Our first trip to Sobo last season, and he was all over me the entire race. And
Well, his first race was the Thompson last season, but his first race he was in the first race this season, and that was Sobo. That might be the one you're thinking of,
no, who? Chris or Derek?
Chris.
No, I'm talking about Derek now. You're living in the past.
Oh, I'm like 12 seconds behind.
There you are.
Derek's been around for a while, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember when he showed up, he was all over me and my bumper. He got me sideways so many times, and he was just all over me. And at the end of the race, he's like, "Man, your bumper is wore out." And I was like, "Yeah, no shit." But no, I like those guys a lot. Those are good guys to run with.
Yeah, he was around. Yeah, he came in with you on week 2.
Who, Derek?
Yeah, the Kentucky kid, good old KY kid.
The old KY jelly.
But yeah, he doesn't miss too many races either.
I think he sat out what was it? Tuesday night he sat out for the limited, or no, Monday night for the limited. I think there was one he sat out for where he was spectating with because the three of us, me, him, and me, Derek, and Chris, we're gonna do the teams for the trucks next year.
Ooh, segue.
Yeah, so we've been kind of working on some, just kind of getting the team together and everything, and so now you threw me off.
Talking about Derek running a lot.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, he spectated. I think it was Monday night,
Yeah.
and he was just kind of helping Derek and Chris and I. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that last couple of days we've been talking, and if we stick to the team setup for the trucks next season, then I think it's gonna be the three of us on a team.
Actually, be an interesting team. You were 3 distinct personalities.
Even tonight we were working together. Like if you watch my stream, we were on our own channel, kind of working on. We were sharing setups, or those guys were making it, and I mean,
Maybe you were using it.
I was providing feedback.
You were playtesting.
Right, exactly. So there was that whole aspect of it, but that should be interesting.
That actually leads into a good segue into another topic we can talk about that's like, racing related.
What?
Teams for the trucks for next season.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I heard you mention Segway.
I mean, for people that like joined during this season, basically what my plan was, and I think you and Mike and I know I've talked to Sean a little bit about it, but the plan was to start at the bottom rung and kind of develop a pyramid system, to basically develop minor leagues that all fed into a top league, and develop talent. Like Clay Snyder is a great example of what I want the street stocks and late models to do. I mean, he was a guy, had his A license but didn't have a lot of private league racing experience. He came in, ran, and he just gets better every week. And we're getting into the point where we're at. I'm only going to put in one more division, and that's going to come out after season 3. All of this kind of got jumbled up when we merged with the DWRL because they had a late model, a street stock, and a truck division. And the trucks were going to come out, were going to debut with season 3 at the end of March. The plan was for the trucks to be the basically AAA division, with late models being AA and the street stocks being single A, to use a baseball analogy.
What does that? What does that mean? Like, is it? I don't understand the single A, AA, AAA. Is it AAA is like the higher?
Yeah, AAA is the highest.
Okay, that makes sense.
League before Major League Baseball.
I look at it in battery terms. Like AAA are the smallest, AA are a little bigger than that, and then A. I've never seen an A battery, but I can only assume it's bigger than a AA.
Well, then you're getting into C's, B's, D's, 9 cell, 9 volt.
And those big honking, like the J batteries that have been on the shelf for like 7 months and they have dust all over them because nobody needs them.
I don't even think they make anything for it anymore. But, I pretty much look at it. I mean, it's just like, local short track. You've got the hobby stocks and you've got the late models and you've got your feature divisions, usually the super lates. But they're the opening divisions where guys cut their teeth and then they all trickle down, and then the top guys end up running into feature series. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build those opening divisions so I can kind of farm talent to feed into the feature division, which will, not sure what card it's going to be, but will come out, debut season 4. And we're going to start toying with some stuff season 3 with the trucks. Like, we're gonna start a team points chase. I'm gonna throw a couple road races in there. Just start toying with stuff that we're gonna be doing when the feature division comes down in season 4. And team racing is a big part of racing. When you get into the
definitely
upper leagues. So it's something I want to incorporate because it's very realistic to how racing happens. So we're gonna try some things out, and gonna bring in a team aspect, and we're gonna limit a team to 2 or 3 drivers. I don't want guys kind of declaring themselves as an individual team.
Yeah.
And, I don't want somebody to go recruit 12 guys to just run a blockade through the whole race. So what I'm gonna do. You can declare 3 guys at the top of the season as your team. We'll score the top 2 finishes each race, and then we'll keep track of the team's points chase from there. And I'm not going to stop guys from recruiting more than 3, but I'm going to limit the number of substitutions you can have on your roster through the season. And if you get 4 or 5 guys, those extra guys can be spotters or be your set builders or whatever you need. But you're only going to have access to 3 numbers, and it'll be a thing just like NASCAR. The team motor comes to me, they get assigned their numbers, they assign the numbers to their drivers, and go green flag.
Yeah. No, that sounds like it'll be pretty sweet when the time comes. It's only now it'll only be like 4 weeks away after this week, it'll be a couple weeks off, won't there?
Yeah, I'm looking. I've got to figure it out. I think. If we stick to a 10-week schedule and put a 2-week off season in between, that'll pretty much have us finished by the holiday season at the end of what would be season 5, I guess, because we can get 4 10-week seasons in, a couple weeks off where we'll be wrapped up before Christmas this year. Give everybody the holidays off, and then get back to banging in January. So that's kind of long term.
Yeah. Well, I think eventually iRacing is going to have to introduce the purest form of racing, and that is the tractor pull.
Tractor pull? I was not expecting a tractor pull. No, not a fan.
What do you mean? The tractor pull, man.
since I don't live on a rural route, I don't have much experience with tractor pulls.
You've never been to a tractor pull?
No,
Oh my God. You don't have to. No, you've never been to a state fair.
no, dude, I live in Philadelphia. No, we don't
So
have.
I'm sure there's a state fair somewhere in Pennsylvania.
Nowhere near me.
All right. Well, I'll have to educate you on a fucking tractor pull since you've
Okay.
never been outside of Philadelphia.
No, no tractor pulls.
Do you know what a tractor pull is though? Like
Oh,
seriously?
yeah, I've seen them on Hillbilly TV, but I've never been to one.
Well, it's something.
Yeah. I don't know what exactly it is, but it's something. Then again, gonorrhea is also something. I wouldn't necessarily want to see it in the next build.
Hey, you better hold your tongue. You never know.
No.
Anyway, I think that about does it.
Yeah, on the gonorrhea note, let's wrap it up, right?
Yeah, gonorrhea is the end of the line. Gonorrhea is where the conversation is run dry.
Once we give the entire service of venereal disease, we have to call it quits, right?
Right. It could go on. It could go for 2 minutes or like an hour and a half, like it has now. But as soon as gonorrhea comes up,
We're
over.
done. I had a buddy of mine back in college. His curtain call song was Champagne Supernova by Oasis. No matter where he was, no matter what he was doing, whenever that song came on, he had to leave because that was his exit music. And he was serious about it too. He played rugby for University of Pennsylvania's club team, and the Quakers went over to Ireland to play a bunch of college club teams from Ireland, and it was just an excuse for a bunch of college kids in the Ivy League to go drink it over in Europe. But he said that they were at a pub like right next to their hotel one night, and he's talking to these two beautiful local Irish girls. I mean, pale skin, red hair, the accent, the whole nine. And he's getting real close to reeling one of them in. He hears Champagne Supernova. He goes, "Well, ladies, I'm really enjoying your country. I enjoyed our evening together, but I have to go." And he left.
He's dedicated. He's committed.
He was hardcore about it, dude.
That's
But,
funny.
Yeah. But,
Do you want to close it out?
Yeah, well, simautoracingassociation.com. We're on Twitter now at SARA Racing. Facebook.
No, he's not even. You got even the fucking Twitter wrong.
You know what? Whatever. SARA Sim Racing.
There you go.
My mistake. Facebook.com/Sim Auto Racing Association. I'm on Facebook.com/Paul Miles. Twitter is @_Mr. Miles, MISTER Miles, and wherever else.
Sounds like you got all the bases covered there. Use another sports analogy.
No, we're sticking with baseball on that one.
You what?
We're sticking with the baseball analogy on that one.
Okay. Well, anyway, this first episode was pretty good.
We only gave 40,000 people venereal disease this time.
Hopefully we can shoot for double that next time.
Yeah. Next week we've got South Boston for the Sportsmen and Irwindale for the Outlaws, and I don't even know where the Limiteds are.
A dirt track somewhere down
Dirt-
in the
Where you're
running moonshine.
Trucks are at Eldora this week. We've got a special crack on the code for dirt.
They hooked us up. They scanned it and programmed it just for us.
Yeah, exactly. But thank you to Matt Ralph, who is sponsoring the Outlaws. He just sent me a message on Facebook lamenting his poor finish this evening. So.
Yep. Well, that about does it. See everybody next week.
All right.
Bye.